GG Alcock is with us today. Well, GG, you've been warning, you've been waving flags throughout the lockdown by saying we've got to realize what's going on the ground, in the townships, in the informal sector. So maybe to kick off with this looting and rioting, is it a surprise to you?
Hi, Alec. Well, yes, I think it is a surprise on the one hand, in the sense of how it's arrived. But yeah, I was thinking back to when we first chatted around lockdown, when I said that the problem is that certain communities just cannot sustain lockdown just in terms of survival and stuff. And so there's a breaking point. So there's a real divide as an essence between the haves and the have-nots across racial divides and the divides of our economic classes. So my argument would be that the kind of spark was planned, but the fire was completely unplanned. So we need to also keep it within perspective of that just because Jabulani Mall is in flames doesn't mean the whole of Soweto is in flames. It's identical to the xenophobia, and I've said this the same about xenophobia. You know, you hear about spaza shops being looted and stuff, and suddenly it's like every spaza shop has been looted. We also need a sense of perspective around this. You know, what's the one swallow doesn't make a spring or whatever summer. Kind of story. And yeah, summer. You know, this is so important, is that let's look at it in perspective. Let's put it in perspective. I had the TV on watching one of the news networks, and I was like, yo, if I was watching just this, and I hadn't been in Diepsloot last night and in Oliver Notes last night, I would have been saying, you know, this is just crazy. I mean, it's like I'd be building up the barricades and finding gun slots in my fence kind of story. It is not like that.
Is there any upside to all of this?
For me, the communitization, I guess, of it, or the villagization of it is, I think that we're going to see I believe very strongly, a growth of the private security sector as a quasi kind of almost police force. So I do believe that the other side of thing is the positive is that governments maybe poo-pooed the real frustration. While I really understand why you want to lock down a tavern and a party and whatever it might be, at the same time, there's real lives out there. There's real entertainment needs and social needs and these kind of elements. And a lot of the flames that have come from this have been very much that frustration, you know, and I'm hoping that and believe the government is kind of opening their eyes and saying, geez, look at this, you know, there's a frustration out there we've got to address.